are you dating your customers? All right, now, obviously, this is not literally, okay? Don't go out and date your customers. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am saying is there's a point that I believe it was Mike Schmidt with Agency Coach brought up, which was that all customers start out as cold prospects or cold leads, essentially, meaning everyone at some point knew nothing about you, didn't need or want your services, or mainly they didn't know about you, right? Like at some point, everyone didn't know about you, and they were essentially a cold prospect. They were not a hot prospect or even a warm prospect. And so, through some process, they became a warm prospect or a hot prospect. And it's kind of easy to forget that, especially like if you're in, like, say, a business to business environment where most of your customers come through referrals or something like that. It can be kind of easy to think like, well, most people that come to me are already like if they most people that come to me are already hot prospects. They're already wanting my services, needing and ready to go. And it's easy to a similar thing can also happen when it comes to lead generation in B2C companies, and where you're dealing directly with consumers. And the issue there is not so much that you can't just go out and get leads directly from consumers, but you may lose some advertiser efficiency when you fail to date your customers before you pop the question. So, what do I? Let me put some examples to this to give you an idea. So, let's say I have a construction company, and so I'm trying to get leads from my construction company. And let's say I do replacement windows and doors. Okay, so I may run an ad campaign, sending them directly to a landing page, and on that landing page there's a form for them to fill out, and maybe there's not much else on the page, or maybe there is, but basically it's one page. Boom, read the page. Here's the form. Submit it, or else no dice. You're not going anywhere. So that would be kind of like just walking up to a stranger and being like, "Hey, will you marry me?" And it's like, any good stranger, right? Any person that you would actually want to marry you is going to be like, "Get out of here," right? Or like, "What in the world?" Or like, "I don't even know you," like, bug off, right? Anyone that is ready to marry you on the spot probably not someone that you want to marry. And so get to know give your customers an opportunity to get to know you, and to signal through their attention that they have an interest in what you provide, and go on a number of dates with them. Potentially go on a number of dates with them first, and then pop the question. And the benefit to this, so at a smaller scale, you may not see as many benefits from this. There's still potentially benefits, but you may not see it quite as dramatically. At a larger scale, when you need a high quantity of leads, you're trying to at this point, you're not just trying to produce leads, but you also want to build a brand, and you want to establish a presence in the market. So what you want to do is you want to provide ways, free, non-confrontational, easy, low commitment ways for customers to interact with your brand before you ask for anything from them, right? It's go on dates, basically. It's spend time together. If we're going to keep using this analogy, it could even be, just start with flirting, right? I mean, it's just start with noticing conversations. Maybe it's not even dates, right? Maybe it's just casual conversations out in public. And so from there, you can, as the relationship gets more serious, if you will, right? So you can then pop the question. And the thing is that the basic idea here is that it's not as expensive, or there are relatively cost-effective ways to reach people on a broad scale when you're not asking for anything from them besides just some attention. So if all you're asking is just some attention, like, hey, just watch the videos on my ad, or just come to my website and press one button that indicates whether or not you need this or you need that. Very low commitment type things. And then you can use that as a very wide net, okay? That can be cast out. You're not depending on Google and Facebook at that point to hone in on your perfect customer. You're casting a very wide net, but you are starting to sort. You're starting to find people who watch 50% of your video on Facebook, or people who visit your website once, or people who click on one button on your website, or maybe it's people who visit multiple pages, something like that. So you're starting to build that impression of your brand, that you're starting to kind of form on the awareness of your potential customer. And then when you are running advertising, in other words, when you're creating ads to actually generate a lead, you can target the people who have already, in other words, you can pop the question to the people who you're dating, which sounds polygamous, but that's not what we're talking about here. So of all the customers who've signaled some interest, they've come to your website, they have, they've done, maybe they spent time watching your videos online. Maybe even, maybe you even have some way to, some of the platforms may even allow you to kind of see who's watching your YouTube videos to some extent, and then retargeting those. And so basically you're trying to, think of it similar to organic content. It doesn't actually have to be organic, it can be paid, but that's sort of the level of commitment that you're asking for from the person. It's basically just, are you paying attention to me? And so once you have some markers that this person is paying attention to you, that's when you serve them with an ad, ask them to become a lead. Basically to take the next step. It's okay, now here is an offer that I have, a specific offer, or ideally it's a specific offer, right? Here's a specific offer, Mr. Prospect or Madam Prospect, and here's the landing page, and depending on how you have it set up with your conversion arrangements, but here's the button to fill out the form, or however you do it. And so at that point, because a lot of times a lot of your real money is spent on the lead generation part of it. So the idea is to get people aware of you before you hit them with the lead generation ads.